What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cat and Beats, and welcome to another episode of What the Fuck Was That?
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? A fucking cat?
Alright, so all these episodes are inspired by my Instagram account, and what I tend to do is just film things that I do in the studio or when I go outside, which is rarely, then I film that too. So I went to a high-end hi-fi show, and at this high-end hi-fi show, there was, well, what that basically means is you take really expensive speakers, you put them into mediocre rooms with middle-aged and old men that do not sit in the sweet spot whatsoever, and then they discuss about how cables make a difference or how an amp makes a difference, although the whole, experiment is almost faulted due to all the things just going wrong. Now, it was lovely to go there, by the way. And, there was a man that came to me and he was very concerned, and he said with a very concerned voice, "Do you suffer from digital harshness?" And I was kind of like blown away by this. I was like, no, I don't. But thank you for asking, thank you for your concern. And then he went on and showed me his green cable. And his green cable was a cable that he put between his world clock and his preamp or something like that. And he said, if I switch the cable from blue to green, you will hear digital harshness. So if you just take this cable and put it into your chain, you will not have digital harshness anymore. And I'm just like, no. So let me show you guys what digital harshness is. And please don't buy thousands and thousands of euros worth of 100 centimeters worth of cables. So this is not worth it. So check this out. Digital harshness comes from, you take your waveform, your final waveform, and you send it through your limiter, and you're going to go to your limiter and you're going to say, please smack the crap out of it. Then you're going to get digital harshness. The reason for it is you didn't take any precautions to make sure that your limiter doesn't have to work too hard. You kind of want your limiter to only push up the level and not do too much insanity of smacking down on transients. If it does do that, then most of the time you're going to get that Donald Duck crispy, that type of sound on top of it, and you will have this thing called digital harshness. And the reason that happens is because the limiter has a very fast attack time and a very fast release time. And then because it has a very fast attack and release time, you get that crunchiness at the top end of your track. So experiment with that. Turn off your makeup gain, smack down the limiter, and you'll hear what it's actually doing. So that's all cool and dandy. But then let's just show you some ways to combat that, so that the final limiter doesn't actually have to do that much to begin with. To begin with, what I suggest you do is in your track, you try to figure out what parts are really transient heavy. So I'm talking about percussion, snares, any pokey, plucky sounds. What you want to do is you're going to compress it to sound super nice and sexy, but most of the time what will be great to do as well is to just de-ess it. So a de-esser, the only thing that is a multi-band dynamics setup. And what you can do is you can seek out your problem frequencies. Let's just say that this is the problem frequency. The way you know it's a problem frequency is if you solo it and it hurts your ears, that's the problem frequency. Then you take your compressor knob here, you turn it down, you put your attack really fast, your release depending on how much you want to hurt your ears. Very fast, lots of pain, a little bit slower, less pain. It depends on the sound a little bit. Put your ratio up to according to where it starts going away, and then just smack away that transient heavy sound. So do that per track, and then you're going to come up with a really smooth final sound. Now, most of the time, you will find that some pesky little tracks will come through again. And this is where I use the spectral shaper. It's a little bit like Soothe, it's a little bit like a de-esser, but it has some other tricks up its sleeve that personally I like a lot. So let's go through it and let's immediately start listening to it. So here is the problem I'm trying to get rid of. That snap, so it's that Donald Ducky type of sound. It's not really a painful sound, but for this track, it was the sound that was causing a little bit of an issue for me. So I thought to myself, if I already take care of that, it's not going to be boosted during the limiter phase. So if we listen to that in comparison with the whole track, then we get this. You probably really can't hear it that well yet, so let me just turn on the harmonies and the melodies as well. And then when those harmonies play as well, if I click on the bypass button, what you should have heard is that that snare really pokes forward quite a lot. It's just like whoop, and it's in your face, which is it's fine, you know. But I kind of want to take care of that, so it's just a smooth, fat track instead of that snappy digital harshness problem. So the way you set this up is quite easy. You just solo the thing that hurts your ears. So the same way you would set up a de-esser. And you take your threshold, you put that down, and you try to figure out if your problem is light, medium, or heavy. So if your face goes, then it's light. If your face goes, ooh, then it's medium. If your face goes, ah, then it's heavy. So then put your ratio heavier. Take your threshold, slack it down until you get compression going on. Then click on your little listen button once you figured out the frequency. And then the cool part here is that with the tone knob, you can completely specify the digital sound you want to make sure you get rid of. So the peaky sound that you want to make sure you already get rid of. So check this out. If you put it up, you're going to get more Donald Duck. That sound. And if you put it down, you get that really hissy sound to be taken care of. So this would be a normal de-essing type of situation in the normal sense. But here, you can really get rid of that weird little sound that is in there. Now the way I do it is I literally set it up like that, and then what you can do as well is if you're listening to it and you're thinking to yourself, well, you know, it is taking away a little bit too much of that snap, you can still put your attack time up again, and what that will do is it will allow that first snippet of that transient to come back through again. So it's basically a dry wet knob over here. And the only issue that I have with the spectral shaper is that you don't have a output makeup gain again. So then just use a post EQ to kind of push it back up again. So that's it for how to not have digital harshness and just DS. So just DS your problems, just DS in your master chain, and then go to your limiter and let your limiter not do too much. And with not do too much, it's like tiny little indents, but not like smacking down as hard as possible. And then still you can get a very loud track if you just do tiny little parts. All right, much love. I'll see you guys again soon. Take care and peace out.